I wanted to show how the Excalibre 15 takes effects. So I'm going to show some basic stuff so you can see how it takes pedals. That's a big consideration for a lot of people. First of all, I wanted to mention that my existing pedal board has got an exaggeratedly high noise floor. I'll show why in just a moment. But here's the noise floor going straight into the amp with the channel volume, in this case the normal channel, about 11 o'clock. And this is the noise floor going through the pedal board. You'll soon see why. About 20 years ago, I bought into the George L's thing, and I ended up with a lot of George L's cables. And I did this pedal board with them. And the George L's cables suck. They always come loose, and there is always an exaggeratedly high noise floor unless all the stars align. And so for about 5 years now, I've been meaning to redo my pedal board with Mogami cable and Neutrik or Switchcraft plugs, which is what I've done for clients, in which case the thing would be whisper quiet. But I just don't do a lot of pedal playing these days because I'm just doing amp videos, and most of the time I want to go straight into the amp, just the amp. So this is languished, and now that I need to show some effects, you hear the noise floor. So for the rest of this video, just listen past that, please. It's not the amp, it's the George L's. Anyway, enough talking. Well, I guess I should say what the pedals are. I've got a Polytune by TC Electronics. That won't be featuring in this video, though I used it about 3 minutes ago. I've got a Dunlop volume pedal. I love these things with the metal belt compared to the string on the Ernie Ball, but they take a lot of calibration, but it's worth it. Really sounds nice. I've got one of my old Telos pedals. I designed this more for Marshalls, and so it's a bit dark to offset a really bright Marshall, but it still works well enough for this. You can hear how the amp takes overdrive. I've got a TC Electronics flashback, and then I've got a Flint Strymon, a Flint by Strymon, which I really like a lot for tremolo and reverb. So the sequences go into the tuner, and from there to the Telos, from the Telos to the volume pedal, from there to the flashback, and from there to the Flint, and then to the amp. So let's start real basic. So let's start with tremolo. And that's their opto trim like you'd find in a blackface Fender. Here's a bias trim like you'd find in like a Gibson GA18 or a Princeton. And my favorite, the harmonic trim like you'd find in a brown panel Fender. At slow speeds, it gives kind of a univibe thing, which I really like. Let's add some spring reverb to that. Let's turn off the vibrato, because this is not an ad for the pedals. Spring reverb. Plate reverb. And they say 80s, but they're going after some PCMs and stuff. can do some real atmospheric things with this if you want. But I'm going to go back to just like a spring reverb. Now, I'm not going to change the settings on the amp a lot for this, but if you think that's too bright, the color circuit on the amp is real effective at dialing that in just right. Let's add a little bit of delay, slapback delay to that. How'd that go, Chef? I don't play rockabilly, but the amp would be great for it. Even if my fingers are terrible at it. And that slapback is also good if you just want to give kind of a space to things. Anyway, it does that thing very well. It kind of takes the place of a reverb, if you want. And I used to try to dial that in so subtly, so subtly, until I realized that when you're on stage, the subtle stuff gets lost. You need to be a little bit exaggerated. But, so that's slapback. Then for the people out there who like a certain Irish band with a Vox, I don't have the right pick for that, but... But I do love that modulated dotted eighth for a lot of things. Kind of cured me of my old love for chorus. And you can do all the sweepy things. And here's just a basic all-purpose delay. And that's also fun for this. So that's all the pedal stuff. Now let's turn the gain on the amp up. As you saw in yesterday's video with Hal, the amp has got a lot of natural breakup. of the things I love about this kind of circuit is that while the overdrive gets crazy, the volume doesn't go up that much. So you can back off with either a volume pot on the guitar or a volume pedal. And there's your channel changing essentially, and it's very touch responsive. And I mentioned I designed the Telos not for a clean amp, but for to work with the already dirty amp. So let's hear this thing without the pedal, and then I'll add the pedal to this, which is what I designed it for. And Jeff, you wanted to hear this with a Strat single coil, so here you go. Just because it's fun, let me switch the modes on the pedal. Voice 2. You'll notice that the way that interacts with the already gained up amp, the mids come out big, and that's very reminiscent of, say, some Brian May stuff. They don't have the right guitar for that, or the right hands. And for the hell of it, I added a big 80s verb to it as well. But just as importantly, or more importantly, the amp sounds good without all that stuff switched off.